Paragraph 1. Structural anatomy of the kidneys, filtration mechanisms, and their fundamental biological role. The human kidneys are among the most sophisticated and biologically essential organs within the body, functioning far beyond the simplistic idea of merely filtering blood. Their structural geometry, microanatomical organization, and integrated physiological mechanisms make them one of the most complex regulatory organs in the human biological system. Located retroperitoneally on either side of the vertebral column, the kidneys rest beneath the rib cage, surrounded by a layer of adipose tissue and encapsulated within a strong fibrous covering known as the renal capsule. Each kidney typically measures between 10 to 12 centimeters in length, weighs approximately 120 to 180 grams, and is divided into two major anatomical regions, the outer cortex and the inner medulla. The medulla is composed of cone-shaped structures known as renal pyramids, whose primary function is to collect and channel the filtered fluid through the renal papillae toward the calyxes and eventually into the renal pelvis, which connects to the ureter. This organized architecture ensures an uninterrupted, highly efficient system of filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. At the microscopic level, the kidneys derive their remarkable functional capacity from approximately 1 million nephrons in each kidney. These nephrons serve as the fundamental operational units responsible for filtering blood, maintaining chemical balance, and regulating essential metabolites. Each nephron consists of two primary structural divisions, the renal corpuscle and the renal tubule. The renal corpuscle houses the glomerulus, a tuft of specialized capillaries, and Bowman's capsule, which surrounds the glomerulus and captures the filtrate formed during the initial stage of blood filtration. Blood enters the glomerulus through the afferent arteriole under pressure, allowing water, ions, glucose, amino acids, and small metabolic wastes to pass through the filtration membrane while retaining red blood cells, large proteins, and other essential macromolecules within the bloodstream. The efficiency of this process is measured through the glomerular filtration rate (GFR), which in a healthy adult ranges from 90 to 120 milliliters per minute. On average, the kidneys filter 170 to 180 liters of blood plasma each day, yet due to selective reabsorption in the tubules, only 1 to 2 liters of urine are excreted, illustrating the kidneys' precise control over water, salts, and metabolic byproducts. Following filtration, the renal tubules carry out intensive and selective processes of reabsorption and secretion. The proximal convoluted tubule reabsorbs nearly 65 to 70% of the filtered sodium, chloride, bicarbonate, glucose, amino acids, and water. The loop of Henle plays a crucial role in concentrating urine through countercurrent mechanisms, while the distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct fine-tune electrolyte levels under the influence of hormones such as aldosterone and antidiuretic hormone (ADH). Through these steps, the kidneys maintain homeostasis, the stable internal condition required for cell survival. They regulate plasma osmolarity, maintain acid-base balance by excreting hydrogen ions and regenerating bicarbonate, stabilize blood volume through water balance, and control concentrations of key electrolytes required for neuronal signaling, muscle contraction, cardiac rhythm, and metabolic activity. Without these tightly coordinated functions, even minor disruptions in body chemistry could lead to severe physiological consequences including seizures, arrhythmias, brain swelling, and multi-organ failure. Thus, the kidneys function not only as powerful filtration systems but as master regulators of the body's internal environment. Paragraph 2. Hormonal, chemical, and systemic regulatory functions of the kidneys, and their influence on the nervous, cardiovascular, respiratory, and muscular systems. The kidneys are also endocrine organs, producing essential hormones that directly influence blood formation, mineral metabolism, blood pressure, and systemic homeostasis. One of the most significant hormones produced by the kidneys is erythropoietin, EPO, which stimulates the bone marrow to manufacture red blood cells. EPO production increases when oxygen levels in the bloodstream fall, thereby ensuring sufficient oxygen delivery to tissues throughout the body. A decline in kidney function leads to reduced EPO production, resulting in anemia, a condition characterized by fatigue, weakness, pallor, breathlessness, and reduced exercise tolerance. This illustrates how closely kidney health is intertwined with the body's oxygen-carrying capacity and overall vitality. Another indispensable regulatory system governed by the kidneys is the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system (ROS), which maintains blood pressure, electrolyte balance, and circulatory stability. When the kidneys detect a drop in blood pressure, low blood sodium, or reduced blood flow, they release renin. Renin initiates a cascade that converts angiotensinogen into angiotensin II, a potent vasoconstrictor that increases blood pressure and stimulates aldosterone secretion from the adrenal glands. Aldosterone enhances sodium and water reabsorption in the distal tubules and collecting ducts, further raising blood volume and pressure. This complex system protects vital organs such as the heart and brain from dangerous fluctuations in blood pressure. However, chronic overactivation of ROS, often due to kidney disease, contributes to hypertension, heart failure, and vascular damage, demonstrating the critical importance of renal function in cardiovascular health. The kidneys also play a vital role in bone and mineral metabolism by converting inactive vitamin D into its physiologically active form, calcitriol. This active form enables the intestines to absorb calcium and phosphate from food, which are essential for bone formation, muscle contraction, nerve impulses, and cellular communication. When kidney function declines, calcitriol production drops, leading to hypocalcemia, bone demineralization, muscle spasms, impaired immunity, and a condition known as renal osteodystrophy. This widespread effect emphasizes how the kidneys influence skeletal strength, neuromuscular function, and immune defense simultaneously. The kidneys maintain the body's acid-base balance by excreting hydrogen ions and generating bicarbonate, a mechanism essential for stabilizing blood pH between 7.35 and 7.45. Without this delicate regulation, metabolic acidosis can occur, resulting in rapid breathing, confusion, cardiovascular impairment, and severe muscle fatigue. In collaboration with the lungs, the kidneys form a two-part buffering system that adjusts both carbon dioxide levels, respiratory regulation, and hydrogen bicarbonate levels, metabolic regulation, ensuring that the blood remains within a survivable chemical range. The kidneys also interact with the sympathetic nervous system, influencing stress response, cardiac activity, and vascular tone. Prolonged stress signals can cause the kidneys to retain sodium and water, elevating blood pressure. Conversely, kidney damage disrupts autonomic balance, sometimes causing uncontrolled sympathetic activation, a contributing factor in hypertension. Furthermore, renal function directly affects cardiac rhythm through its control of potassium levels. Hyperkalemia, excess potassium, a common result of kidney failure, can lead to fatal arrhythmias or cardiac arrest. Sodium imbalance affects fluid distribution, blood pressure, and neurological activity, while magnesium and calcium levels influence muscle function and neurotransmission. Thus, the kidneys exert profound influence over nearly every major organ system: the brain, the heart, the lungs, the muscles, the endocrine system, and the immune system. Their regulatory capacity extends far beyond filtration, situating them among the most vital organs required for sustaining human life. Paragraph 3. Kidney diseases, global health impact, scientific research, advanced therapies, and the critical importance of renal function for human survival. Kidney diseases represent a growing global health burden, often progressing silently until reaching advanced stages. Among the most prominent conditions is chronic kidney disease (CKD), a progressive deterioration of nephron function that affects roughly 10% of the world's population. CKD is typically asymptomatic in its early stages, allowing toxins and metabolic wastes to accumulate slowly in the bloodstream. Over time, decreasing kidney function leads to fluid retention, uncontrolled high blood pressure, metabolic acidosis, hormonal imbalances, electrolyte disturbances, and structural changes in the heart and blood vessels. The late stage of CKD, known as end-stage renal disease (ESRD), requires dialysis or kidney transplantation for survival. Dialysis, though life-saving, cannot perfectly replace all kidney functions, and requires significant lifestyle changes, financial cost, and medical support. Another major concern is acute kidney injury (AKI), a sudden decline in renal function often caused by dehydration, severe infections, toxic drugs, burns, trauma, or reduced blood flow. AKI can rapidly lead to dangerous electrolyte imbalances, fluid overload, and organ failure. Even if recovery occurs, individuals who have experienced OCI remain at a higher risk of developing CKD later in life. Other kidney disorders such as nephritis, glomerulonephritis, kidney stones, polycystic kidney disease, and obstructive uropathies also pose significant health challenges. Conditions like kidney stones affect millions worldwide and are triggered by mineral imbalance, dehydration, genetics, or dietary habits. Polycystic kidney disease (PKD) is an inherited condition in which fluid-filled cysts gradually enlarge within the kidneys, eventually impairing their function. Modern medical science continues to study kidney diseases extensively, with research expanding into areas such as renal genomics, molecular nephrology, regenerative medicine, and immunological therapies. Significant advancements are emerging in bioengineering, where scientists are working on artificial kidneys, wearable dialysis machines, and implantable filtration devices that mimic natural nephron function. 3D bioprinting technologies are being used experimentally to grow kidney tissues and organ structures using stem cells, offering future possibilities for lab-grown kidneys. Additionally, researchers are exploring the potential of gene editing tools like CRISPR-Cas9 to correct genetic defects responsible for hereditary kidney diseases. Immunotherapy is also becoming relevant in treating autoimmune causes of kidney damage, such as lupus nephritis. Preventing kidney disease remains a global priority. Medical guidelines emphasize maintaining a balanced diet, limiting salt and processed foods, drinking adequate water 1.5–2.5 liters daily depending on climate and activity, managing diabetes and hypertension, avoiding excessive painkiller use, engaging in regular exercise, and undergoing periodic kidney function tests. Public health initiatives around the world are educating communities about early detection, as early intervention can slow or even halt the progression of many renal disorders. Ultimately, the kidneys are life-sustaining regulators, maintaining internal equilibrium across multiple systems simultaneously. Their failure disrupts virtually every organ, leading to a cascade of physiological breakdowns. Without functional kidneys, survival becomes impossible within days. Through filtration, hormonal secretion, chemical balancing, detoxification, water regulation, electrolyte control, and systemic management, the kidneys ensure the stability and continuity of human life. Their importance cannot be overstated. They are silent protectors, biochemical engineers, and vital guardians of the body's internal environment.